Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear participants and guests of our conference today, online and via Zoom. On behalf of the Heinrich Böll Foundation, Palestine and Jordan, I warmly welcome you to Muwattin's 28th annual conference titled Societal Change Actors, Shrinking Spaces and Resilience Strategies. It's our great pleasure to support again the annual conference of Muwattin, which has become both a tradition and a symbol of our very important partnership. My colleague, Dr. Riham Halasse, who is leading our Human Rights and Democracy program, is also here present today. So, marhaba, Riham. The Heinrich Böll Foundation has been partnering with Muwattin since the 19th, even before the Palestine and Jordan office was opened in Ramallah, end of the 90s. As our oldest partner, we are very proud of the cooperation with Muwattin and the work that we have achieved together over the years. Thanks a lot to you, Dr. Jamil, and your team for organizing this important conference. The Heinrich Böll Foundation is part of the Green political movement and seeks to encourage cross-border initiative and cooperation. Together with our local partners, HBS Palestine and Jordan is active in three main fields: environmental justice, human rights and democracy, and political analysis and international relations. Shrinking civil society space is a global trend, unfortunately. Societal actors like NGOs that are working for social justice, human rights, environmental protection, and a better participation of minorities are coming more and more under pressure and facing several obstacles to their work. Over the last 10 years, an increasing number of governments have adopted new laws and practices that constrain civic space, the set of conditions that allow civil society actors and individuals to organize, participate, and communicate freely and without discrimination, and in doing so influence the political and social structure around them. Governments often use new legislation to close civil society space by stressing the need for active regulation and while presenting as means to prevent fraud and so-called questionable funding. In reality, such legislations are instrumental to silence any form of promoting and defending human rights and to weaken any internal opposition. Annual reports from 21, so the last year, with a special focus on shrinking space, come to the result that only 3% of world population live in countries with an open public civil society, while 2/3 live in authoritarian states or dictatorships. Those in power restrict the free exercise of fundamental rights through a combination of legal and practical restrictions. Civil society organizations exist, but state agencies attempt to discredit and dismantle them, including through civilians, bureaucratic harassment, and public humiliation. Citizens have the fundamental right to assemble peacefully, but are often dispersed by security forces. There is room for non-governmental media and editorial independence, but journalists are subject to physical assault and defamation charges. They therefore feel compelled to self-censor. Practitioners and academics agree that supporting civil society actors is central to a successful consolidation of young democracies and value-based global legal norms orientated development of democracies. Or, with regard and a special focus to Palestine, a vivid civil society is an important basis for value-based political self-determination. As the backbone of civil society, non-governmental organizations exemplify the promotion of civil rights and liberties and public accountability to support for gender equality or increased public sector effectiveness in implementing a wide range of political goals. This conference aims to take a look at the restrictions on the scope of action and shed lights on different facets. Ahead of us are 2 days of debating how different civil society actors are coming under pressure in OPT and how they are responding. special focus is given, and I think this is very important to discuss also resilience strategies, how to deal with these difficult challenges and how societal actors are able to continue with their important work in the future. In the Israel-Palestine context, restrictions of civil and political rights, such as freedom of expression, association and peaceful assembly, and the right to public participation are increasing. At the same time, NGOs and individual activists and human rights defenders are faced with defamation claims designed to intimidate and silence them. I think it's totally clear that civil society can only develop its potential if it has sufficient and social and legal scope for action. I'm very much looking forward to the various sessions tackling the topic of shrinking spaces from diverse perspectives and experiences, and to the presentation of the papers by different scholars. I'm particularly curious about the discussions between academia and practitioners that are present here today, especially with an eye on resilient strategies and how to handle the increasing shrinking space. It is very, very important to use these 2 days as an open space for exchange and learning from each other. Last but not least, I thanks a lot also to Birzeit University for hosting this event as a leading educational institution and as an intellectual hub here in Palestine. I'm wishing us all inspiring days. Shukran jazilan.
Thank you.